All right, let's talk about UFC Fight Night London, Edwards versus Brady. We're doing picks and predictions for this card right now. Um, it's a pretty decent card. I mean, when the UFC goes to a specific destination that isn't the Apex and it's a Fight Night card, they kind of turn up. And even the Apex cards have been fun recently, but imagine if those fucking fights are in front of a crowd. Regardless, we're doing picks and predictions. I'm giving you all my picks and predictions, my overall record. I went 7-6 last week. Overall record is 65-41. So again, not bad, but I gotta turn this bitch up. All right, we've got a couple of average weeks back to back. I think I went 7-6 in the week before. I went 7-3, which actually wasn't pretty damn good, but I want better, man. I need one of these I need to get one of these fucking 12-1 cards that I've gotten a couple times last year. So let's work on that now. And starting with the first fight of Guram Kutateladze versus Caio Fernandez. I think Caio Fernandez is actually pretty good. Dangerous power, a lot of pop, really good low kicks. Hasn't fought the best of competition. Guram, while I think he is good, I think he's really good everywhere. His grappling's good, his striking's good. The power's not necessarily there. But I do think he's just a little bit better than Caio Fernandez everywhere. I think he's going to be able to get this one done by a 30-27 decision. Looking really good in the boxing. He might get his leg chewed up a little bit, but I think his boxing is going to look really good. Great head movement, good flow, good shots to the body, and then I think he's going to be able to implement the grappling at points in time in this fight as well. Caio Fernandez is dangerous, though. I'm assuming the odds aren't up right now, but I'm assuming Guram's going to be a pretty hefty favorite. I would assume it'd be somewhere like 3-1, probably going to be like minus 320. So no shocker there. I'm going to go with Guram Kutateladze. Caio Fernandez is great, but I think Guram's just a little bit better everywhere. I think he gets it done by a 30-27 decision. And just being in England, man, we're going to see a lot of technique. We're not going to see a lot of finishes. I'm telling you, there's no way we get a ton of finishes here. Moving on, Nathan Fletcher versus Callan Loughran. I'm going to go with Callan Loughran. He was a slight underdog to start this, and he's even money right now, and Nathan Fletcher is a slight favorite, so I'm counting as an underdog pick. I think there's more power on the side of Callan Loughran. I think Nathan Fletcher's pretty good. I think he uses his jab well. I think he's a good grappler. I just don't think he's actually going to be able to implement the grappling well against Callan Loughran. He's a shorter guy, very strong hips, compact fighter, has some pop in his hands, and he's getting much better every time he gets in that octagon and fights. He does have the kind of T-Rex arms, like short reach, but I think he's going to find a way to get it done. I think he wins a 30-27, not a 30-27, probably a 29-28 decision here. I think he's just going to be able to defend a lot of the takedown attempts of Nathan Fletcher, and when Jake Hadley fought, he was piecing up Callan Loughran a little bit. Callan Loughran wasn't really getting hurt or stung by anything. He was just kind of getting tagged and then unable to get going because Jake Hadley's footwork was pretty good. I think Nathan Fletcher's got some good footwork. I just don't think he's going to be as fast as Jake Hadley was. And Jake Hadley's not this world beater, but he was coming up from flyweight. So he did have a little bit of a speed advantage over Callan Loughran. I don't think Nathan Fletcher necessarily has that much of a speed advantage in this fight. I think Loughran's going to be able to get off some good shots. I think he's going to land some good low kicks on Nathan Fletcher here. I think he's going to be able to eat the jab or parry it a lot better and land some big shots of his own. I expect him to be going forward the whole fight, being able to defend takedown attempts, good sprawls, strong hips, and then get back to the feet and start landing combinations against the fence. I think he beats Nathan Fletcher by a 29-28 decision here. I can see this being a split. 29-28 split decision, Callan Loughran. That's my pick. Moving on. Shauna Bannon versus Pooja Tomar. I don't care about this fucking fight, man. Shauna Bannon stinks. They gave her a pretty robbery decision over Elise Ardeline. Pooja Tomar also got a robbery decision over Rayan Dos Santos, some girl that she lost 30-27 to, but, she's from India, so they had to get an Indian prospect. I'm honestly just going to go with the underdog pick of Pooja Tomar here. I know we're in England and Pooja Tomar's Indian, so you don't really know what the judges are going to do, but I'm going to go Pooja Tomar. I think the UFC is just going to want her to win, and I honestly think it's going to be such a shitty, sloppy, ugly, bad fight. Pooja Tomar just makes a ton of noise when she throws. Like, every strike you see her go, bah, bah, ah, 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 and she doesn't land, but the judges think she's landing because she's making noises. And maybe the stench like knocks out Sean O'Bannon. So I'm gonna go with Puja Tomar. Terrible, terrible fight. Underdog pick here. Split decision, Puja Tomar. Whatever, dude. Who gives a fuck? That's just a fight that's gonna ruin my fucking record, dude. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Andre Puliev. I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan. I think he's going to find a finish in this fight. I think in round 2 he's going to be able to have enough damage incurred on Andre Puliev here to end up landing like a good knee to the body, and then he finishes it with a combination upstairs. So I'm going to go with Christian Leroy Duncan. I think he does a good job using his range. I think his striking's really good, and he does mix up his stances pretty well to make it a little bit trickier for Puliev to get a takedown. Puliev kind of won a stinker in the Contender Series, man. I don't think he's that great. I'm going to be real. Against this guy Anderson, I don't even know if he actually got a contract. I think the UFC just needed someone to fight, and they just fucking signed him. Yeah, I'm going to go with Christian Leroy Duncan by a second round finish. He's quite good, dude. He is really good. I can see him getting a decision, but I'm going to go with CLD by finish here. Yeah, that's the pick. CLD by finish. I think it's just his striking so much better. He's one of these guys outside the top 15, but he's actually very, very good. So I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan. His striking's getting it done. Moving on. And I get it. He lost to like Gregory Rodriguez, but Gregory Rodriguez is very good as well. So Puliev's not Gregory Rodriguez. But we're moving on. Mick Parkin versus Marcin Tybura. This is one of those fights, man, where I'm like, Mick Parkin is improving, yes, but Marcin Tybura, this is the kind of random fight that he ends up winning. I'm going Mick Parkin. I think that his takedown defense is going to be good enough to keep Marcin Tybura from implementing a lot of that grappling. I think that Mick Parkin's hands are a little bit faster than Marcin Tybura, even though I think Tybura's got a little bit of a better jab. I think Mick Parkin's starting to get a lot more comfortable in that octagon, starting to get much better. He finally is coming off a finish. He's going to have the size advantage in there. And I think he's going to have the benefit of the doubt from the judges. I'm going to go with 29-28 unanimous decision Mick Parkin that a lot of people cry robbery where they think Tybura actually won rounds 2 and 3. Tybura's pretty decent, dude. He's one of these guys who just kind of sticks around here at heavyweight, getting wins here and there, like fraud checking opponents that are supposed to be surging contenders, like the great Mick Parkin. I don't think Mick Parkin does anything spectacular. He just kind of does everything okay. And I think Marcin Tybura is kind of like that as well. I think Mick Parkin's going to end up taking the Marcin Tybura role as these careers move on. I think Mick Parkin's going to be one of those guys that sits at like 8, 9, 10 at heavyweight and just keeps people from coming into the top 10. And Tybura, again, he's 39. I don't really care about the age, though, if I'm being real. They're at heavyweight. It doesn't really matter that much to me. I think Tybura is going to have some good moments. I think round 2 is going to be a very close one. I think round 3, Tybura is going to win pretty clearly. And I think round 1, Parkin's just going to win clearly. So it's going to be one of these really close fights that goes to Mick Parkin because they're in England. The boxing combinations of Mick Parkin are better than Marcin Tybura's. I will say that. The individual punches I do give in terms of technique to Marcin Tybura, weirdly enough, like his check hook's not terrible. And he can pump that jab out a little bit, has some kicks. I think if he were to win this fight, he would have to get Mick Parkin to the ground enough to like really steal the points from the judges, for the judges. And I just don't think he's going to do that. I'm going to go with Mick Parkin to win a 29-28 decision here. This is going to be a shit fight card, honestly. The fighters on it are good, but this is going to be a very technical, boring fight card, like the England cards always tend to be. Moving on. Loner Kavanagh versus Felipe Dos Santos. I don't know who's going to end up being the favorite or not in this fight. I'm going to pick Loner Kavanagh. I think Felipe Dos Santos is decent. I do. He's kind of coming up on Murderer's Row recently. Like the guys he has fought, it's been Manel Cap, lost a decision, had a great performance but lost a decision. Then he beats Altamirano. That's not like the toughest competition. He gets the win there, split decision. A lot of people think he lost. Then he gets put up against a killer in Andre Lima. I feel bad for fucking Felipe Dos Santos. He is not mini Charles Oliveira, guys. He's just not. Loner Kavanagh is actually very, very, very good. He's shorter. He doesn't have as much reach, but he's got a little bit of wrestling. And I don't know why his takedown average is 0, but like he's physically imposing. He's a I like his skills, honestly. Like I liked his fight when he was fighting on Macau. He looked really good, and he looked like he continued to get better and better as that fight went on against Jose Ochoa. Ochoa is like, he was tricky. If I remember correctly, he's a little bit of a tricky customer. What was, I think it was down here they were fighting, right? Yeah. Yeah. This wasn't a great fight. But I seem to remember him being very counterpunchy and able to land big shots. Um, he does do that. He kind of waits for people to come in, and then he lands some good counter shots. He's not really the one going first. He is going forward, but he's not usually going first. Felipe Dos Santos has that shoot-a-box style where he does just go first and wing punches. I think he's going to be susceptible to get hit here. I think we might see a Loner Kavanagh finish. I'm going to go a Loner Kavanagh round 2 KO. I think he's going to be able to read the shots of Felipe Dos Santos in round 1 and then start timing things in round 2 and start having his combinations land. I think he's going to catch him with a left hook. That's what I'm going to go with. Loner Kavanagh, left hook KO in round 2. Moving on, Jai Herbert versus Chris Padilla. I'm a Chris Padilla believer, man. I'm going with Chris Padilla. I think his grappling's good. I think his striking's pretty good as well. Nasty elbow finish over Rong Zhu where he just blew up the eye. Great submission win over James Lontop. Listen, we're talking about, he's not fighting the best of the best. He's fighting guys that aren't easy to beat, and he's beating them. He's coming to the UFC as an underdog twice in a row, and he's delivered. I like his style. I do. I think he's got good takedowns, and I think he can have moments where he's able to hold Jai Herbert against the cage, land some knees to the thigh, elbows up top, get the separation, land a teep kick. I think if he stays at range for too long, it could get tricky for him. But I actually think this guy has really high fight IQ every time I see it. He was reading Rong Zhu very well. He was letting Rong Zhu come in. And when he would see start to overextend, he would time an elbow down the middle, shut his eye. But he was landing other elbows before that as well. I think Chris Padilla is a very high IQ fighter. And I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to get a decision over Jai Herbert here. I'm going Chris Padilla by decision. He's had 2 finishes in a row in the UFC, I believe it is. It was a submission and then a KO, right? Yeah, Dr. Stoppage KO. Dude, this guy's got 2 fucking finishes in the UFC, and he is riding a hot streak right now. He lost a split to Darren Smith. Can't say I've ever seen that fight. And back in 2018, he had a loss streak to Gabe Green submission in Bellator. To Nate Andrews submission. Goes back to the drawing board. Works on his submission defense. Obviously doesn't get subbed here. But then he starts rattling off a couple wins. I like the hot streak he's on right now. I'm going to be real. I'm going with the momentum, man. And I think it's been a while since Jai Herbert stepped in that octagon. And Jai Herbert's just one of those guys that lets you take the fight from him sometimes. He is. He beat Rolando Bedoya. Had a great performance. But he just has those times where he really will let people take the fight from him. Fares Ziam, he had a stinker with. The activity's not really there. August of 24, okay, that's not that long ago. But before that, it was over a year. I'm going to go with Chris Padilla. I don't think he gets a finish this time. I think this is going to be a little bit slow of a fight, but I think Chris Padilla is going to do enough to get it done, win a 29-28, 30-27 on one judge's scorecard decision. I'm going Chris Padilla here. I think he's very good underdog pick. Moving on, Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charriere. I think Morgan Charriere is very good and getting better in every fight. And I think Nathaniel Wood is very good, but he has moments where he lets the fight slip away. Where he's doing the right things, he's beating up Daniel Pineda with the low kicks, and then he engages in the grappling like an idiot. And then he's doing well with the boxing, engages in the grappling like an idiot. He's such a good fighter. He does everything so well. And Morgan Charriere is also very, very good. Very, very good. I think Nathaniel Wood's going to use his technique and finally win a fight the right way. Like, I don't think he finishes Morgan Charriere, but I think his low kicks are going to work really well. I think his boxing is going to look really good. I'm going to go with Nathaniel Wood to win a decision here. Man, this is a fucking decision-heavy card, dude. It sucks. Like, he knocked out Gabriel Miranda. Gabriel Miranda stinks. He arguably beat Chepe Mariscal. Beat this guy Zacchini, dude, who's, man, he's not that good. He really isn't, but he's Italian, so come on, leave him alone, guys. I'm picking Nathaniel Wood. I think he's going to win this fight by decision. I think he's going to be a little bit higher output. And I think he's going to be, I think he's picking the right shots. Like, I think he's going to look really, really good in this fight. I'm going to go 29-28 decision. His technique is there. This is a guy that's been flirting with getting in the rankings for quite some time now. And when you look at his fights, it's like, beat Daniel Pineda, beat Andre Fili, beat Charles Rodin, beat Charles Rosa. And he does it, and he looks so good doing it, but he just has moments where, like, the IQ shits the bed on him. But he's got all the technique, all the skills. He loses to Naimov, but, like, Naimov cheated that whole fucking fight. I think Nathaniel Wood's going to be able to get this one done by decision. I'm going Nathaniel Wood by decision, another underdog pick. I think Morgan Charriere also looks good in this fight. This might be a fight of the night that goes to decision, but I'm going to pick Nathaniel Wood to get it done. Also, they're in England, dude. I think they're going to be more likely to give it to Nathaniel Wood, even though Nathaniel Wood, I don't know. He's, England isn't really for the English people right now, from what I've seen. So that's what I'm going to say right there. And guess what? I'm in America, and I'm never coming to England. So good luck trying to fucking get me for saying that, you fucking stupid Brits. Like, I don't even know. We won the war, baby. Jordan Vucenic versus Chris Duncan. Jordan Vucenic is a legit prospect. I picked him to beat Garam Kutaledze. I think Vucenic is nasty. Great submission game. Good striking. He's a tough man to beat. Chris Duncan's decent as well. He's powerful. I just think he's so slow and flat-footed that Jordan Vucenic is going to have a field day with him here. I actually think Jordan Vucenic is going to be able to find a submission. I think he's going to land really well on the feet. Duncan's going to be missing some shots. He's going to shoot a takedown. Vucenic is going to get some kind of front choke or a guillotine, something like that. I think I'm going to go round one submission from Jordan Vucenic. I think we see a really good performance here. I think this is a star-making performance for Jordan Vucenic. I think he's a very good fighter, very well-rounded, very well-known by the English fan base as well. And I don't think he's getting chinned by Chris Duncan, man. Like, he looked good against Garam Kutaledze, and he took it on short notice. And listen, he's got a featherweight skill set against a slow lightweight. I think the speed's going to be a problem for Chris Duncan here. I really do. And I think the transitions are going to be a big problem for Chris Duncan. I don't think he's going to be able to just hold Jordan Vucenic on the ground. I think Vucenic's jiu-jitsu is going to be really, really good here. I'm going Vucenic to win by round one sub. Next up, Molly McCann versus Alexia Thainarara. I'm going with Molly McCann. I think they're giving her a layup of a fight. I think this is her goal, to get a layup of a fight. Like, this is usually what happens is she gets, I actually don't know who Alexia Thainara is, so I can't even say that. But, like, Bruna Brazil beat her ass, dude. Like, she beat Molly McCann's ass. She subbed Diane Belbita. She got subbed by Stoliarenko, who was supposed to be a layup. She gets a chance at the rankings at Erin Blanchfield. Gets destroyed. Like, I'm going Molly McCann. I just think they're in England, man. Like, they're going to find a way to get her a win. They're going to give her an opponent they think she's going to beat. And she's going to get to fucking pretend, hey, do you guys know Paddy the Party? I know Paddy the Party. I'm annoyed by fucking Molly McCann, man. She fucking annoys me, dude. Like, NPCs love Molly McCann. Dude, she's Molly Meatball, man. She is a bad woman. Spinning elbow, sick knockout, yeah. Friends with Patty the Batty, sure. Barstool fucking was like, oh, she's going to be a fucking superstar, dude. She's not good. She's not that good, guys. But she's going to win this fight, probably. I don't know. Has Alexia Thainarara fought anyone I fucking know? Of course not. She won a decision on the Contender Series. I'm actually vaguely remembering this. She's 11-1, dude. Do I pick someone just to come in on short notice and beat Molly McCann? Oh my god. She actually destroyed this girl. I can see her beating up Molly McCann's legs. Whatever, dude. Robbery decision, Molly McCann. I don't care. Fucking Molly McCann decision. Whatever. Gunnar Nelson versus Kevin Holland. I'm going Gunnar Nelson. I'm going round one submission until Kevin Holland shows me that he gives a fuck about fighting anymore. I honestly think he made so much money from that fucking commercial he did with Stephen Thompson that he just stopped giving a shit. What happened to the Kevin Holland we used to love, dude? We used to love watching this guy. If it stays on the feet, he's absolutely cold in Gunnar Nelson. But I think Gunnar Nelson knows, hey, why don't I just fucking take him to the ground and submit him once he realizes that after 2 minutes I'm not going to get off him and he'll quit. Like, look at this out of fucking Kevin Holland. You're like, dude, he fought Murderer's Row, man. Sure, but he also fucking quits all the time. Remember this run, dude, where it was he KO'd Anthony Hernandez in 39 seconds, KO'd Joaquin Buckley, split decision Darren Stewart. I thought he won that one pretty clearly. Submitted Charlie Ontiveros, KO'd Jacare Souza from his back, then lost 2 in a row, Brunson and Vettori, where he got smudged into the ground on a 5-round decision. Didn't get subbed because those guys don't have subs in their arsenal. No contest with Kyle Dawkins. I don't really remember what happened in that one. I think it was like a headbutt. KO'd Alex Oliveira. Submitted Tim Means. Then again, he fights someone that's solid, right? Hamzat Chimaev gets subbed. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gets KO'd. KO's Ponzinibbio. While he's losing that fight, he ends up getting the KO. Submits Michael Chiesa with a Darce choke, who gave him a Darce choke. Lost the decision to Jack Della Maddalena, clearly, but they called it a split for some stupid fucking reason. Got destroyed by MVP. Got submitted by Michal Olenjicic. Oh, he submitted Michal Olenjicic. He almost got knocked out. He just kind of pulled an armbar, but he still got taken to the ground there. Got taken down and quit against Roman Dolidze and said, oh, I have a rib injury, and then managedly fought 3 weeks later, or 3 months later with a broken rib. Okay, then he got submitted by RDR in a round. It's just like this guy goes into fights and he just quits, man. He's just a quitter. When you're looking at someone like Gunnar Nelson who has great jiu-jitsu, second this fight goes to the ground, it's over. So I'm going with Gunnar Nelson. I think he gets a submission in round 1. I do think Gunnar Nelson's a little bit slow with finding ways to get his submission. I will say that. But I think he's going to get it done. He subbed Barberena. He went to decision with Takashi Soto, the great Takashi Soto. I mean, like, this guy never fucking fights either. He's once a year. But you know what? He does the same thing. He finds a way to get his submission wins, especially against guys that can't defend sub. So it's going to be Gunnar Nelson by sub. Moving on, mate. Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. I think this is a robbery waiting to happen. I'm just going to say it. It's a robbery waiting to happen. I think Blachowicz is going to beat Carlos Ulberg, and we're going to look and go, all right, Blachowicz won that fight. Oh, they gave it to Ulberg. I just don't think you're knocking Blachowicz out. And I think Ulberg will get tired at points here. Lost a split to Alex Pereira that he arguably won. That I think still Pereira won. I gave it to Pereira, don't get me wrong. But like, then he goes to a draw with Ankh. He should have lost that one. KO's Rakic knee injury, but he was beating Rakic. Gets subbed by Glover. Beats Izzy. Like, look at the people he's fucking fought, dude. KO's Dom Reyes. KO's Corey Anderson. KO's split decisions Jacare. KO's Luke Rockhold. Like, I think he does have legendary Polish power. I do. I think he finds ways to win. He's got good reach. Good power. Good low kicks. I can't see how a close decision ends up going to Jan Blachowicz here, you know. I just can't see them giving him a close decision. I think they'd rather Carlos Ulberg. He's the new face, the new kickboxer, whatever. Why can I not think of the name? What am I? City Kickboxing. Dude, that was stupid. Hasn't fought the best of competition, but like, dude, he's got a nasty left hook. He did beat Ozdemir. Ozdemir's a tough out, and he beat Ozdemir. It's a close fight, but he beat Ozdemir. You know, I'm going to go Carlos Ulberg. I think he wins a point decision here, 29-28. A lot of people are going to be arguing about robbery or not, but I think he's going to win a 29-28 decision here. I think he's going to be able to outland. I think the volume's going to be more for Blachowicz or for Carlos Ulberg. I think Blachowicz is going to have those moments where he's really hurting Carlos Ulberg at times, but Ulberg's going to keep on the pressure, land a couple good low kicks, land some good left hooks, pump the jab. Blachowicz is going to shoot a takedown. He might get one or two, but I think Olber's going to do a good job getting back to his feet. I'm going to pick Carlos Olber to win this fight by decision. And lastly, Sean Brady versus Leon Rocky Edwards. I'm picking Sean Brady. I'm picking him to get a decision, submission here. I think that, listen, Bilal's great. He's a very, very good fighter. I think Sean Brady's jiu-jitsu is so much better. I do. His jiu-jitsu is much better. Maybe not his wrestling. His wrestling's very, very good. Bilal's wrestling is very, very good, though. But Sean Brady's jiu-jitsu is one of the best in the division. Think if he's able to take down Gilbert Burns and control him on the ground, and if he's able to have moments where he's outboxing Gilbert Burns, I think he's going to be able to hang on the feet long enough with Leon Edwards where he's not getting KO'd. He's got to watch for the high kick because, that's what Edwards can do against right-handed fighters, orthodox fighters. But I think Sean Brady's going to be working to get on the inside here a lot. I just think Leon's kind of a quitter too. I think he's the Kevin Holland here. I look at Leon fighting and I'm like, dude, this guy can get broken all the time. He literally is always getting broken. I'm going to go with Sean Brady. I think he's going to be able to get his takedowns, and I think when he gets the takedowns, Leon's going to have a really tough time getting back to his feet. I do. I think he's going to have a tough time getting back to his feet. I think Sean Brady's control, his jiu-jitsu, the way he can float on top of an opponent is next level. And I actually think he's going to find himself like a Kimura here. Either a Kimura, an armbar, something with the limbs. I don't think he's going to get necessarily like a rear naked choke. He could, but I think he's going to get something on the limbs. I think he's so much physically stronger than Leon Edwards too. Leon's obviously got better striking. He's going to blast low kicks. But I think he's going to be less kick. Leon's boxing's not that good. He reminds me of Izzy in the sense that he's very reliant on his kicks to perform very well. His feints are good with the hands, but it's all to set up his kicks. And I think Sean Brady's going to be able to have Leon going backwards a lot and have Leon throwing a lot less kicks than he usually likes to because of the threat of the takedown. And I know what you're thinking. Dude, he beat Usman. He got dominated in the first fight and just got a lucky head kick that fucking ended up KOing Usman. He got beaten, though. He was getting broken. He got broken by Bilal. I look at Sean Brady yes, Leon's been training for wrestlers literally 4 times in a row. It's been Usman, Covington, Bilal. I just think when it inevitably gets to the ground here, Sean Brady's going to be able to hold control better than all those guys did. I do. I think his jiu-jitsu is a lot better. I think he has the best submission ability out of all those guys. So I'm going to go with Sean Brady I'm going to go round 2 submission here. That's what you know what? Not round 3. I'm going round 2 submission for Sean Brady. Think he's going to be able to find a Kimura. I'm going to guess Kimura. That's going to be my submission prediction. I'm going Sean Brady, Kimura submission, which I believe is what he got on Gastelum. It is. Sean Brady, round 2 submission on Leon Edwards via Kimura. You know how I feel about Leon, guys. I just think he's so breakable. And I think he's going to get broken in the first round of this fight, get dejected from not being able to get back to his feet. It ends up on the ground again. And I think you're going to be able to see him quit on himself a little bit here. And Sean Brady just take advantage of a lapse in judgment and end up getting a big submission. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Let's get fucking in the prediction. Let's get big, wins in this prediction game this week. I'm fucking feeling it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe.